Bayelsa, Imo, Rivers, and Zamfara State lose out as federal government disburses 123.348 billion naira performance grant to states. Security checklist as Nigeria marks Armed Forces Remembrance Day. Federal government to give 20,000 naira cash grant to poor and vulnerable rural women. On business, 96 companies bid for NNPC infrastructure rehabilitation. On the international scene, Bobby Wine claims fraud and violence-mad election day in Uganda. On sports, Bilbao shock Real Madrid face Barca in final. Welcome to Svtv News. I am Musa Joy Unyoza. The federal government has disbursed the sum of 123.348 billion naira to state government in the second round of performance-based grants. The grants were given out under the State Fiscal Transparency, Accountability and Sustainability Program. The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Mrs. Zainab Ahmed, who disclosed this in a statement issued by Mr. Hassan Dodo, the Ministry's Director of Press and Public Relations in Abuja, explained that the disbursement followed the achievement of results by the state in the just concluded 2019 Annual Performance Assessment. The assessment was carried out by the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation as the independent verification agent and approved by the Program Coordination Unit of the Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning. According to Mrs. Ahmed, the disbursement included 91.048 billion naira of performance-based grants for the 2019 APA result achieved by 32 eligible states across various disbursements. Link indicators covering fiscal transparency, accountability, expenditure efficiency, revenue mobilization, and debt sustainability. States receive grant in accordance with the number of results achieved, with Sokoto State receiving the highest amount of 6.612 billion naira, while Kano State got the lowest amount of 1.710 billion naira. Bayelsa, Imo, Rivers, and Zamfara State got zero allocation due to their inability to meet the 2019 eligibility criteria, which requires states to publish online approved annual budgets and audited financial statements within a specific time frame. Sokoto State Government, under the Better Education System Delivery Agency program, has enrolled over 75,000 children into basic schools in the state last year. Similarly, this year the state government under the program targets over 90,000 children for enrollment. Governor Aminu Waziri Tambuwal stated this on Wednesday at the official flag-off of the Better Education Service Delivery Agency program enrollment drive for the year 2020-2021. According to the governor, under the program, over 1,513 integrated Quranic schools have been created, just as teachers have been recruited and provided with textbooks as well as instructional materials. The governor added that since inception of the present administration, education has been given utmost priority through the allocation of higher percentage in budgetary allocation. The Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps Command in Kano State has deployed 1,926 personnel for the January 16 local government council poll in the state. Mr. Abu Tambuwal, the state NSCDC commandant, said this in a statement by the spokesman of the Corps, ASC Ibrahim Abdullahi, on Thursday in Kano. Mr. Tambuwal said the personnel is drawn from various departments, divisions, and units of the Corps were deployed to provide adequate security as well as to ensure crowd control in 8,084 polling units, wards, and collation centers across the state. The commandant assured of maximum and adequate security for the protection of electoral officials, voting materials, as well as the electorate in all the respective polling and collation centers. Additionally, the Corps will ensure orderliness at polling and collation centers, and unauthorized persons will not be allowed into the centers. According to him, NSCDC in collaboration with sister security agencies will take effective control to forestall any threat to law and order before, during, and after the election. Civil servants in Cross River State have urged the state government to channel its energies towards addressing challenges in the system rather than introducing new dress code for them. The workers were reacting to the statement made by the state head of service, Mrs. Gradlin Akpet, that the state would soon introduce new dress code for civil servants in the state. In an interview with newsmen, a civil servant, Mr. Mike Auger, welcomed the move but added it was no workers' need for now. According to him, there are a lot of challenges in the system. There is no welfare package for workers for a long time now. There are issues of unpaid arrears and promotions without benefit, adding that their offices are in deplorable condition. He said those are the areas that the state government should focus for effective service delivery. January 15 every year is commemorated as Armed Forces Remembrance Day. As the milestone is marked this year, it also provides ample opportunity to chronicle current landmark achievement by the military in tackling security challenges in the land towards fulfilling the constitutional requirement of government guaranteeing the protection of lives and property. Boko Haram is much weaker today than in 2015, as attested to by the Governor of Borno State on December 6, 2020. From statewide statistics on affairs in the 27 local government areas since 2011, the recent happenings and the security situation in Borno State, and indeed that of the entire Northeast sub-region, is better under President Buhari. The Adamawa State University has fixed February 2, 2021 as the tentative date for the resumption of school activities. The date was agreed upon at an emergency Senate meeting of the university which held on Thursday, January 14, 2021. A statement issued by the Information and Project Officer of the university, Mr. Belmont Benson, explained that the University Senate has approved Tuesday, 2nd February 2021 as the tentative date for reopening of the institution for resumption of academic activities. It assured that all non-pharmaceutical COVID-19 protocols would be strictly observed on campus and every student must undertake to abide by all the COVID-19 protocols, both within and outside the campus. Students are expected to make arrangements to provide themselves with face masks and hand sanitizers to complement the effort of the management. The general public is urged to disregard any other information in circulation with regards to academic calendar to resumption date of the institution. The Armed Forces of Nigeria from 18 March to 30th December 2020 neutralized 2,403 criminal elements comprising of terrorists, bandits, kidnappers, cattle rustlers, among others, across the country. This is in addition to scores of other terrorists and armed bandits killed during the air strikes. Troops also rescued a total of 864 kidnapped victims across the country. In addition, a total of over 1.6 million liters of stolen AGO and over 33.5 million liters of DPK were recovered. Equally, 1,910 criminal elements were arrested and large cache of arms, ammunition, and equipment were recovered during the period. Furthermore, a total of 46,581.8 barrels of stolen crude oil and over 22.8 million liters of stolen PMS were recovered by the troops of the armed forces of Nigeria. The federal government is targeting over 160,000 poor and vulnerable rural women to benefit from the 20,000 naira cash grant across the country to cushion the effect of COVID-19 pandemic. The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Hajia Sadia Umar Farouk, made the disclosure at the launch of the grant on Wednesday in Katsina State, where 6,800 rural women would benefit. She said the government is targeting over 160,000 poor and vulnerable rural women in Nigeria for the 20,000 naira grant to uplift their economic status, and rural women with disability will also be included. The minister expressed the hope that the beneficiaries will use this opportunity to increase their income, enhance their food security, and contribute toward improving their families, adding that the 20,000 naira will go a long way in supporting any serious woman to start a business. President Muhammadu Buhari has called on Nigerians, especially the elite, to be fair in their criticism of his administration. Speaking Thursday in Abuja when he received in audience Reverend Yakub Pam, the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission, President Buhari said those criticizing the administration should be fair in terms of reflecting on where we were before we came, where we are now, and what resources are available to the nation, and what we have done with the limited resources. The president said they had to struggle paying debts, investing in road repairs and rebuilding, to revamp the rail and try to get power, adding that the elite have to look into this when they want to criticize. President Muhammadu Buhari also assured that the welfare of internally displaced persons is paramount on the agenda of the government. Earlier in his remark, Reverend Pam had intimated a precedent with some of the activities of the Commission since he was appointed in July 2020. The Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, has confirmed that the Third Mainland Bridge would be fully reopened to traffic by February 15. The minister gave the update on Thursday during an inspection of construction work on major roads and bridges in Lagos State. The minister and his team visited a section of the Apapa-Oshodi Expressway engulfed by fire when a petrol tanker burst into flames. According to Fashola, the partial closure of the Third Mainland Bridge is delaying the scheduled maintenance on Falamo Bridge. He said once the Third Mainland Bridge is reopened, they would move to Falamo Bridge and replace the expansion joints. The Third Mainland Bridge had been partially shut since July 24 for repair works. The Ministry of Works and Contractors said the bridge had been scheduled to reopen fully in January, but the 2 weeks lost to the NSAS protest necessitated a push in the completion of date. We'll be right back after this short commercial break. Stay tuned. Welcome back on Business. Fauzia Ibrahim has more detail.
Hello there, welcome to Business Updates. No fewer than 96 companies have indicated an interest in the rehabilitation of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation's downstream infrastructure. The public opening of the bid was held virtually in Abuja on Thursday. The managing director of the Nigerian Pipeline and Storage Company, Ade Oyetunde, said that the exercise was in conformity with the mandate of the federal government to prioritize the rehabilitation of critical downstream infrastructure across the country. She listed the facility that will be rehabilitated by successful bidders to include critical pipelines for crude oil supply to refineries and evacuation of refined products, depots and terminals. Mr. Oyetunde said that the objective was to get them ready to support the refineries when they became operational after their rehabilitation. And that's all on the business updates. I'm Fawzia Ibrahim. Do have a nice day.
And on the international scene, Uganda's opposition leader Bobi Wine said early Friday that the country's election had seen widespread fraud and violence, but he remained positive as votes were counted under an internet blackout. Despite the widespread fraud and violence experienced across the country, the picture still looks good. Wine tweeted shortly after midnight, managing to bypass the blockage, thanked Ugandans for turning up and voting in record numbers. The 38-year-old former pop star turned lawmaker did not give details about his accusations, which contradicted the government account that Thursday's vote had been peaceful with no major cases of violence reported. The internet remained down for a third day as vote counting continued in the country, and the results are expected by Saturday afternoon. Still on the international scene, U.S. federal authorities executed a former drug trafficker who had contracted COVID-19 late Thursday, and a final execution of Donald Trump's administration was scheduled for Friday with just 5 days left of his presidency. Corey Johnson was part of a gang implicated in 10 murders in 1992 in the U.S. state of Virginia and was convicted in federal court for his involvement in 7 of them. The 52-year-old African American received a lethal injection at a federal penitentiary in Terre Haute, Indiana, and was later pronounced dead. He addressed the families of his victims in his final statement. And on sport, over now to Abubakar Sufyan.
Hello, welcome to the Sports Room. I'm Abu Sufyan Abubakar. Real Madrid suffered a shock defeat in the Spanish Super Cup on Thursday as Atletico Bilbao pulled off a 2-1 victory in Malaga to reach Sunday's final against Barcelona. Raul Garcia scored twice in this first half, the second being a penalty, and while Karim Benzema pulled one back for the defending champions, Bilbao held on to complete a statement win under their new coach Marcelino Garcia Toral. Bilbao were beaten 3-2 by Barcelona in La Liga just last week, with Lionel Messi scoring twice at the San Mamés Stadium. Yet they will get another shot at Ronald Koeman's side this weekend, with the trophy up for grabs in Seville. Marcelino said they are 90 minutes away from winning a title, adding that it will be amazing and even better to do it between Real Madrid and Barcelona. And that's all we have on sports today. Back to the newsroom.
That has been the news from Standard Voice Television. To end the news, a quick look at the major headlines. Bayelsa, Imo, Rivers, and Zamfara State lose out as federal government disburses 123.348 billion naira performance grants to states. Security checklist as Nigeria marks Armed Forces Remembrance Day. Federal government to give 20,000 naira cash grant to poor and vulnerable rural women. On business, 96 companies bid for NMP's infrastructure rehabilitation. On the international scene, Bobi Wine claims fraud and violence-mad election day in Uganda. On sports, Bilbao shock Real Madrid face Barca in final. That's the news on behalf of the production crew and head of news and current affairs department, Alhaji Ibrahim Garoba Tunel. I still remain Musa Joy Onyoga. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.